The Red Raiders dominate the Kent State Golden Flashes by a score of 62-14 to improve to 2-0 in the 2025 season. In today's video, we'll discuss the dominant effort from the Texas Tech defense and how they have still yet to allow a point this season, and how QB1 Behren Morton, who was questionable this week, shines in week number 2. Let's get it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Red and Black Report. If you're excited about Texas Tech starting the 2025 season 2-0, all I'm going to ask you to do is simply like the video. A lot to discuss in today's win, including we have solidified a nickname for the Texas Tech defensive line, but more importantly, the Red Raiders win. They build momentum in both position groups in terms of the offensive side of the football and defensive side of the football. When it comes to first stringers, absolutely ball out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. You can see them on your screen right there. Texas Tech wins by a score of 62-14. Behren Morton, 18 of 26, 258, 3 TDs. There were a couple of throws, specifically one drive where they had to settle for a field goal after getting down into the red zone. It was about the 4-3-yard line of the Golden Flashes. Behren Morton simply missed about 3 throws, in my opinion, 2 for sure when it came to the left side of the field. But that's the reason you want to see Behren Morton on the field right now. There are a ton of new guys in the skill position group for the Red Raiders. Obviously on the offensive line too, you need QB1 to have meaningful game reps, even if it is against the worst team at the FBS level in the Kent State Golden Flashes. I thought Behren Morton, the biggest thing for me, he was mobile. The leg did not look like it was bothering him at all. And once again, that patented Morton zip was on the football. He had a couple of throws where he simply does not make them these past 2 seasons due to the shoulder injury. Reggie Virgil was the leading wide receiver in terms of catches for the Red Raiders. Coy Aiken led the way in terms of receiving yards at 59. Reggie Virgil had 2 TDs in this game, make it 3 on the season for him. Coy Aiken had his second receiving touchdown of the year. And then Bryson Jones, the true freshman, 2 catches for 50 yards, 1 TD. He has back-to-back weeks finding pay dirt for the Red Raiders. When it came to the running game, I just don't think Cam Dickey looked very good today. I'm not trying to be harsh on the guy. It's just there were a couple opportunities where the offensive line didn't do him any favors, and I don't think he did himself any favors in terms of patience behind the offensive line. That being said, he did have 2 touchdowns in week number 2 for the Red Raiders. Jacoby Williams had 9 carries for 54 yards, but in terms of who was the leader for the running back room for the Red Raiders against the Golden Flashes, it was Adam Hill. 16 carries, 127 yards, nearly 8 yards a carry. I don't think he's in the conversation to be RB1 or RB2, but it is a good weight off Texas Tech's shoulders offensively in the sense of, okay, losing Quentin Joyner does suck, but you still have 3 really, really solid running backs, and Adam Hill is a guy that Red Raider Nation was happy to see succeed against the Golden Flashes in week number 2. When it came to the defensive side, Ben Roberts led the way in tackles, at least total tackles, with 6. But the big story and takeaway for this one, in my opinion, was the fact that the first team defense has still yet to allow a singular point this season. I understand it's UAPB. I understand that it is Kent State. I truly do. But this defense was hyped by me and many others in the Texas Tech space, whether it's from a professional media sense or wherever you listen to other content creators in the Texas Tech space. This defense was highly, highly regarded coming into the season, and so far they have lived up to the expectations and then some. I mean, the 4 horsemen, a.k.a. the starting 4 on the defensive line of Skylar Gill-Howard, who had a big man pick 6 in this game. And I don't know if I've ever seen a man happier when it comes to running the football. I mean, shoot, I had to put him in the thumbnail of the video. Man was just absolutely elated. And by the way, sneaky wills. I mean, he was actually like separating from some of the Kent State offensive players on that pick 6. I digress, but you have Skylar Gill-Howard, Lee Hunter in the middle there, and then obviously the 2 rush ends there and David Bailey and Romello Height. Both of those guys had a sack in this game. David Bailey is quick as a hiccup. I mean, I just feel bad for whoever the offensive lineman is lining up opposite of him, regardless of who it is, because he's probably going to make you look absolutely foolish. I mean, David Bailey almost got really he committed murder on live TV on his sack. I mean, it was bad. I actually felt bad for the Kent State quarterback, but nonetheless, and then Romello Height had a sack as well. I thought Texas Tech was just absolutely sensational, and most notably, Romello Height. It felt like every snap he played in this game, it was a QB hurry. He only had 3, but it felt like every time the ball was snapped, 1.2 seconds later, that QB was like, oh, crap, Romello Height's right there. The defense was absolutely phenomenal in this one. Now, in terms of points that stand out, maybe not on the expectation of great where we were at, I thought the offensive line, they look good. They look good. I mean, yeah, they look good in this one. Not great, though. I would have loved to see them get more push when it comes to short yardage. I mentioned earlier that Behren Morton missed a couple throws in the red zone. They were down to the 1 was Texas Tech with 4 opportunities to score. Give credit to the Golden Flashes defense. They got a push on the Texas Tech starting offensive line, and then eventually Cam Dickey on the 4th opportunity, 4th and 1, decided to halfback counter left where Howard Sampson and Will Jaddos secured the edge, to get into the end zone. I mentioned Behren Morton again, looked completely fine in this one. There was a lot of talk specifically on this channel and every other Texas Tech place that you get content for the Red Raiders about him being healthy in this game. I'm none the wiser. If you would have told me, hey, can you tell if this quarterback's hurt or not? You wouldn't be able to tell. He was moving around a lot. He was making smart decisions, and he had that patented Morton zip when it came to that shoulder that went under the knife this past offseason. One aspect of the Texas Tech offense that was, I don't want to say annoying to me, but one that I'm like, okay, let's switch it up a little bit. It felt like they ran the same play except flipped a couple of times. I do want to see them run more RPOs, and that's not to say I want to see Behren Morton run. Not what I'm saying at all. I actually like the way Mac Leftwich was calling this game quite a bit, specifically just to try and get a rhythm and make sure every guy got a touch here or there to feel included, right? Because that's what these games are for, is live in-game reps. Make sure Behren Morton is happy in a good place with each of the playmakers on the outside. The running backs feel good behind the offensive line, all that good stuff, right? But I think that they could use RPOs more and not run Behren Morton, but use in between the hashes more when it comes to getting Terrence Carter Jr. involved more, Coy Aiken involved more. And both of those guys had touchdowns in this game. Coy Aiken did, but Terrence Carter Jr. should have had a touchdown if it wasn't for the fact that he was literally carrying multiple Kent State defenders as far as he could. And unfortunately, the third one got him. But I think that that's one aspect of this offense I want to see more moving forward. I can't really harp on it too much because obviously it worked today. But I do think that that's an area that you will see Mac Leftwich use more moving forward as the competition continues to increase. Another somewhat negative, it didn't bite Texas Tech in the you-know-what, but it may if they continue to have these kind of mental mistakes in games that actually matter in the sense of the Big 12 title race. Special teams, multiple holding calls today when it comes down to it. Got to get better at that, clean that up. There was one play defensively where they just let the ball bounce a couple times instead of, just dropping on the ball. They were trying to scoop and score, and it ended up Kent State got the ball back. They didn't end up scoring, did the Golden Flashes. But again, you got to capitalize on those opportunities if you're the Red Raiders. Again, Adam Hill led the way with over 100 yards rushing, his first career game with 100-plus yards rushing at the collegiate level, nearly 8 yards per carry. But Texas Tech dominates in the trenches once again, specifically on the defensive side. I think on the offensive side, they dominated for basically all but one drive. That being said, it was in the red zone. You got to clean that up, and you got to be better, as a better opportunity in terms of an opponent is coming out to the 806 to play you before you start Big 12 play the week after. The Oregon State Beavers will be out in the 806 with an afternoon kickoff set at the Jones next Saturday. But Texas Tech ends up winning this one 62-14 against Kent State. The things that stand out to me real quick, once again, as a quick video recap here, the four horsemen, the starting defensive line for the Red Raiders, David Bailey, Lee Hunter, Skylar Gill-Howard, who had a big man TD today off of a pick six. Romello Height dominate this game. A.J. Holmes Jr., you deserve some credit too, man. That was absolutely dominant on the defensive line, and that's what Texas Tech fans were promised this season. Now, the starting offensive line looked good, not great. Got to get better when it comes to getting the push in the run game, specifically in the red zone. And maybe most importantly of all, Behren Morton looked 100%, not only with throwing the ball and having that patented Morton zip, but he was also moving around, and that leg looked like he was more than capable of being out there and making the right decisions as he goes out and has a really good game for the Red Raiders. Let's go ahead and look at the stats one more time before we head out of here. 18 of 26, 258 and 3 for Behren Morton. Will Hammond was efficient as well, had another rushing touchdown, did Will Hammond. Is he Lamar Jackson, as I saw in my Texas Tech buddies from college group chat? I don't know. I haven't seen Will Hammond and Lamar Jackson in the same spot, so maybe they're the same person. I don't know, but people are asking. That's for sure. But overall, 7 penalties for the Red Raiders. Need to clean it up. Few of them came off of, well, special teams, but overall, again, a dominant performance for the Red Raiders, who do not cover in this game. They missed it by half a point. Line or books closed at 48.5, but you'll take the W regardless. And the Red Raiders are set to face off in a former Pac-12 school. Well, in terms of the traditional Pac-12, they're still in the Pac-12, but modern day Pac-12 team in the Oregon State Beavers next Saturday afternoon at the Jones. And then after that, it's Big 12 play, baby. And maybe the biggest game on the Big 12 schedule this year potentially happens in week number 1 of conference play for the Red Raiders as they head out to Utah to face off Devin Dampier in the Fighting Utah Utes. But again, great day to be a Red Raider, as it is every day, but some days are better than others, and this one is pretty damn good. Fall weather here in Texas has arrived, at least for this weekend, and Texas Tech absolutely beats the you-know-what out of the Golden Flashes of Kent State by a score of 62-14. All right, I'm RC Maxfield. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the Red and Black Report. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube, almost 12,600 strong. I mean, it's the largest group of Texas Tech fans, and, hey, the most involved, the most interactive. I mean, we're posting daily videos 100% free here. Why wouldn't you want to join the Red and Black squad to stay in the know on everything Texas Tech football all year long? All right, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, stay safe and Wreck 'em Tech.